Welcome back to the You Know My Voice podcast, the podcast that talks to the biggest voices in electronic music. I'm your host, Kelli-Leigh. And today in the studio, I'm a bit of a fangirl. This artist and songwriter, an incredible vocalist, has amassed well over 12 billion streams, writing hits for your faves like Britney Spears, JoJo, Martin Garrix, Bebe, Rexha, Rudimental, Ella Henderson, Niall Horan, to name a few. And this artist is absolutely blown away with the incredible vocal range she has and a song that basically is now a wedding favourite called The Vow. In the studio with me today is the iconic, the incredible Ruth-Anne.
Oh, that was so nice.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I love this podcast. No, I love this podcast, so thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, you are really incredible. And and my journey through the industry as well, someone I've looked at and seen is just really a really incredible voice and presence, and the way you write as well. It's really special.
Oh, thank you. I feel the same about you.
Aww.
I've always seen you, you know what I mean, to the industry, you just kind of see people and I'm like, yes, girl, the vocals, everything. So
yeah, we got a sanger in the house today, okay? I'm really excited to talk about it. But yeah, there's so much there. And honestly, as I was saying to you just before we started filming, your bio is incredible. I just, I was worried I was going to mess it up on the introduction.
No.
But before we get to the big magic, I do want to quickly take us back to baby Ruth-Anne.
Yes.
And where this incredible love of music comes from and your days growing up. Please tell me about that.
Well, I grew up in Ireland in a very middle class, Dublin suburb with my parents. My parents are obsessed with music. So there was always Carole King playing. I would walk in the living room. My dad would be air guitaring to Led Zeppelin, Garth Brooks, James Taylor, very singer-songwriters. There was always music in my house. My mum and dad sing in church. So I was, 3 or 4. I was already in the church choir.
Amazing.
They put me in early because I was singing along. And I think they just knew, all I remember from when I was younger was singing. And I started writing songs when I was 7.
Wow.
My dad gave me a little 2-track tape recorder with a mic, and I was practicing Mariah Carey riffs.
Love.
We didn't have money for vocal lessons or anything like that. So I just started to do it myself, and I'd just, keep riffing, and I'd listen back. When I was 7, literally there's tapes of me listening back to the riffs and doing it again. And my parents were just they weren't pushy, they were just super encouraging. So when I would write a song and I played to them, they would be like, oh, that's so great. Do you want to write another one? Just very encouraging.
Yes.
So I was in a very musical household, and there's stories of me being put up on pub tables, McDonald's tables at 10, just singing Mariah Carey Hero.
Oh, love.
Because I didn't even think I was good. People would give me money for sweets. So for me, it was this is how I get money for sweets. This is how and mum and dad would take me to the karaoke competitions when we would go on holiday, and I would win them free drinks.
Wow.
So it was do you know what I mean?
She was an entrepreneur.
It was okay. And then I just always wrote music as a way to kind of get my feelings out.
Yeah.
But I knew from very young I wanted to be in the music industry. I knew I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. That was it for me.
Yeah. Have you got siblings as well?
Yeah, I have 2 older sisters.
Okay, and are they musical?
They as in they're a nurse and in marketing, so they're amazing. But I wouldn't say they're in the music. They're not in the music industry, but they're good singers at karaoke's and the sing songs. I mean, anyone who's Irish knows the Irish sing song. I mean, that's where you basically are rare. Is in them Irish sing songs. So they definitely are good at the Irish sing song. But yeah, I'm the only.
You're the music industry.
I'm the music industry one. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you had this obviously then pretty quick immersiveness into even the sonics and hearing and the listening of the music. I remember you talking about that and playing it back and stopping in. That was Whitney for me, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I did do my stints of singing along to Mariah, obviously, but it would always mash up my voice.
Right,
so I was
yeah.
up there for ages and then couldn't come down.
Yeah. No, 100%. But I was never told to study the great singers, but I did. Celine, Whitney, Mariah, Aretha, Lauryn Hill. I was always, I remember watching Mariah Carey sing Without You on Top of the Pops. And I was 8 and my mum was like, your jaw was dropping. I was so fascinated with vocals from a young age. And I just was obsessed with, learning. And I kind of was training myself. I just studied the greats from a very young age.
Yeah,
before YouTube, before anything, it was you taped it off the radio or you caught them on Top of the Pops, and then I would listen and just try and learn how to do it all.
Yeah, that is the school of singers. I mean, like, and real vocalists really hark to those artists because there's something about them. There's magic in their voices and the energy transference of the way it hits you. It's just
100%.
It's something that's just magic.
Yeah, and it always was, my mom always said, you as a singer, you're telling a story and it's about making people feel something. And my mom and dad also would always say, like, this is your gift. Everybody has a gift.
Yeah.
And they would say, this is yours. And I would be like, well, what do I do? And they would just go and sing for people. And that's how you'll connect with people. And that's how you'll make people feel something.
Yeah.
And so I just always carried that with me, and I would just love to sing for people because that was my way of connecting with people. I always felt like that was how people opened up to me, was after I sang or like singing or music related. I just loved music from such a young age as well. It's like the number one love of my life.
So as a teenager then, were you already like in your mindset, I'm going to be in music? Like in terms of like your studying and all that kind of stuff, you were like, this is it?
Yeah, there's stories of me. I mean, I was writing lyrics in school classes. I was, bonking off. There was like the supervised study that you did after school for exams. I would go to the music room and the teachers would all come in and listen to me just play and sing. No one told my parents. I told them later, I was like, I never went to those after school things. I was always in the music room, and teachers would take up lyrics of mine and keep the lyrics. And I'm like, no, that's the lyric. That's a hit. Like, don't take my lyric away.
Oh my goodness.
I was just, for me, like, even though it's my job now, it was always what I did.
Yes.
I didn't not paid for it. It was like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And that's so entering it as a professional just felt like the natural course.
Yeah.
It was just always what I did. I was just obsessed. So obsessed. How
did you get your first professional break or first songwriting session professionally?
Yeah, like I've got to give my dad credit because my dad, I formed a girl band when I was like 14 I was in the stage school, and I was like, formed the girl band because I was sick of having to switch the tapes to do the harmonies.
Nice.
And by the time I was doing all that, I was switching the tapes. Anyone who's back from my day, you know what I mean. We didn't have Logic, we didn't have laptops, So I put together a girl band so that I could hear the harmonies back to me, because I'm also like harmony obsessed. I love Destiny's Child, the girl groups, En Vogue.
Yeah, the layering.
So I was all like, let's have a girl band. We recorded a few demos, and then my dad entered one of them demos when I was like 16 to this songwriting competition in Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up winning it. And so the winner, like me and the band performed it, but I had written it and produced it on this like beats that I'd gotten free in a cereal box, like loops and stuff. And you won equipment from Yamaha. I won, the song got played on radio.
Oh, wow.
I was in the paper, stuff like that. And then a manager found me who actually managed Danny and Mark, bless Mark, from the Script at the time. And they weren't the Script yet. They were writer-producers in LA. And he was like, spoke to my family and was like, I want to take Ruth-Anne to LA. I've got an office there. I've got writers and producers there.
Wow.
I want to develop her as an artist.
Wow.
So my mom and dad were like, that's fine once she gets her exams. So I had to sit my exams.
Like it. Parents were like,
yeah, just
she's going to be a superstar, but she needs to get those grades.
The education to fall back on was always a thing. So the day after I finished my exams, I went over to LA when I was 17.
Wow.
And the third day I was there, I was put in with Billy Steinberg and Josh Alexander.
Wow.
And I co-wrote Too Little Too Late with them. That ended up being my first kind of hit. I mean, it took 2 years to get to JoJo, but yeah, that was actually for me as an artist.
Really?
Yeah. And I always was like, no, it's too pop for me. I'm more Alicia Keys. I'm more soul. But I loved the song.
Yeah.
And when I was singing the demo, I was thinking of JoJo, because I was like, this feels like, the sequel to Get Out, like in my head. So I was singing it, thinking of her and channeling her, but I didn't say it to anyone. And then when I got a call like a year later saying JoJo wants to cut it, I was like, yep, that's who it's meant for.
Oh, wow. You manifested that for sure.
I think so, because I literally could not stop thinking of her. And yeah, that was my first kind of hit.
Wow, that's incredible. What was it like getting in this room with these two big writers and stuff? Like, but you're also so young, it was a whirlwind. Do you feel like you weren't really fazed by it, or how did you?
I think when you're 17 and it's like you haven't been damaged by the industry at all, you're not. I was nervous, of course, but I hadn't been in it at all. I was fresh. I'd never been to Hollywood. This was like plonking an Irish, little girl, because I was quite young, 17-year-old in a mansion with a Grammy, that he had for Celine Dion, falling into you on the piano and saying, he just said, play for me. And I played this song that I wrote that when I look at it, I'm like, it was the worst song ever. When you're 17 and I'm going to play my song. Awful song. But he really liked me. Billy really took a chance on me and was like, bring her in tomorrow. We'll write with her. And so Josh and Billy really took a chance on me, bringing me in.
Wow.
And, I really credit them with that song and having me be a part of it, and JoJo for the vocals and everything. Like, I really was like a newbie, and they really showed me the ropes and gave me the biggest break I could possibly have asked for.
That's incredible. Do you have BVs on it, or is it purely JoJo?
No, so the reason I don't have BVs was it actually was higher. It was a tone higher, which was so hard to sing, but because I was 17 and I have the demo on my TikTok, if anyone, and I put it up, and it's higher, and I sound like a 10-year-old. And so it actually, when JoJo's key, because she wanted to do that big high thing at the end, like that was all her. And so I think they put it in a key where she had somewhere to go, because there was nowhere to go.
Oh, right,
in my version, it was like, and that chorus is just, you're constantly, So she ended up doing it in lower key so that she could do them big high things at the end. So that's why, I don't. But I've worked with her since. She MySpaced me at the time. It was really exciting. She was like, I love your voice. Thank you so much for the song.
I love
We've written together. She's amazing. She's one of the best vocalists I've ever worked with. She's just amazing.
Yeah, incredible voice.
And such a sweet girl. So but it was an incredible start to my career.
Journey. That's amazing. So, and then obviously you were like, this isn't for me. Did you feel like you had written songs out there which felt like you as an artist?
Yeah. So at the time that we wrote Today, I was developing as an artist. Yeah. And it was 2 years before that song came out. And then, so I was doing more Alicia Keys, soul, piano, R&B. And Too Little Too Late felt like so pop to me. I loved it, but I was like, I'm not a pop. I'm not a pop star. I'm not a pop singer. I want to do the more soulful route. And so when that broke and became a hit, everybody was coming to me wanting to sign me as a songwriter. Yeah. So it was kind of like, I don't have the money to be, I'd be going back on the boat. This was my opportunity to get in the door. And once you have your foot in the door, you just go for it. And I didn't even know songwriting was necessarily a career on its own. I always thought it was like, you're a singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
So, but I just thought, I'll do this for a while and I'll just keep developing as an artist on the side. And then, so that's what kind of started I got a publishing deal and I just went down kind of the songwriter route.
Yeah. And is that around the same period that you ended up doing Britney's Work Bitch?
So that was Britney's Work Bitch was like a few years after Too Little Too Late. Okay. I had a few songs come out around that time that did really well. I did like Pixie Lott, Westlife, like stuff like that. And then Britney was actually like the next kind of big one that I had after that, like global one. And that was just crazy, just getting a call being like, hey, like, guess who's singing our song? And I was like, who? And played me Britney. And I was like, is that Britney Spears? And he was like, yeah. And he goes, and guess what? And I said, what? And he goes, it's coming out in 4 days.
Oh my God.
And then she tweeted the lyric with my name on it. And I was like, Britney Spears just tweeted my name. Like the whole thing. I mean, I was like 12 or 13 when Britney came out. Like Britney was Britney Christina Queens. You know what I mean? I knew the Slave Feud choreography. So that was a huge moment for me. And going and watching her perform at her Vegas show, seeing all the merch was all Work Bitch. Can I say bitch?
Yeah, Work Bitch.
BITCH merch. And it's so funny. My friends would like turn around and be like, oh, my friend like wrote that song. Yeah, right. Like no one believes you. Do you know what I mean? But I love it. Like I'd be in spin classes.
I know.
When Hot About It comes on and I just look around and I'm like, yes. It's really cool to like be a tiny part of her music history as like the pop princess that she is.
Well, you say it's a tiny pop, that was a massive sort of like comeback also moment for Britney as well. Obviously Britney's not, not comeback, but you know what I mean? It was one that like she came back in this kind of elevation point, different Britney, sassy, and and the gays loved it. It's incredible. Love me gays.
Me too. That's like I love just seeing people work to that song. There's a move, there's a look, there's a face. And I'm such a I write a lot of ballads and I write a lot of heartbreak music. So it's so nice to have a song part of my catalogue that is a bit more sassy and a bit more, which I give credit to will.i.am. He's a genius. But I'm just so thrilled to be a part of it and to be a part of her music legacy in a way. It's really cool.
But it feels also lyrically very iconic and very boss. And I think at the time as well, it was great to hear something coming from a female artist as well, which was a bit more edgy and it was a bit more focused. It's you want this, you better work. You know what I mean? Instead of just sort of having females being kind of, I've got to sing heartbreak. Obviously, I love a heartbreak song, don't get me wrong. But do you know what I mean?
It was boss.
Yeah, it was boss.
And it fitted in with that time because that was when females really started being empowered.
Yes.
And as a writer as a female in music, I'm all about that empowerment.
Yes.
So it was a really cool cultural moment.
Yes, it was. So we're moving, you're obviously slaying it as a songwriter, but were you feeling elements of yourself just being I don't want to get left behind, my artistry?
Yeah, I think I always try to explain to people throughout my career, people in the industry have always been but you're just a songwriter, Ruth-Anne. And I'm
who said that to you? Is that
so many. I mean, I can't even. The list would be so long. But it's they want you to keep writing for their artists because they're but she can write hits.
Yeah.
So so there's a business mind, there's an agenda there. Of why they would be oh no, don't do your own artist thing. Keep writing for my artists, which is great, and I love doing that.
Yeah.
But I think as well, I always try and explain to people that every songwriter is an artist, every musician is an artist. What we're doing is creating art.
Yes.
Some songwriters like to not perform and they're shyer, so they want to stay behind the scenes. Some songwriters are the most amazing vocalists you'll ever hear in your life. I've been in the rooms with them that you may not know.
Yeah.
And some songwriters like myself are multifaceted and just it's creatively fulfilling to do it all.
Yeah.
So for me, being an artist is more about what I want to say from my art. Being a songwriter is more helping other artists, helping them tell their stories, trying to find myself in their stories to help guide them.
Yeah.
And as a songwriter, sometimes, the artist doesn't write, so you're writing a lot of the songs. Sometimes the artist just needs someone to bounce off of and you're more like a therapist or a friend that helps pull the stuff out.
Yeah.
But as an artist, it's my own stories, my own voice. There's nothing else at play. It's more just me in the room with producers. I get more of my own creative way. And I think that without either, I wouldn't want to just do songwriting. I wouldn't want to just be an artist. They both fulfill each other.
Yeah.
So without one, it always feels like I'm missing something. And there's songs in me, like The Vow, for instance, that come out so quickly as an artist because I'm always writing for the people and then I'm storing these things for myself.
Yeah.
And then they come out so quickly because it's they've been there trying to let me out too.
Yeah.
So I think that to be an artist is you're creating art. And so I'm not just a songwriter, I'm not just an artist, I'm all of it combined and we're all multifaceted. I vocal songs for people that I didn't write and I'm a vocalist then. And I like to see myself as just a very multifaceted creative person who would be very creatively unfilled. So long story back to your question is that in that time, there was moments I had of singing people's songs or having, so before the Britney song, the Avicii song came out, All You Need Is Love. And that was with my voice on it, even though I wasn't featured.
Right.
But so I had little glimpse of me as an artist. But
why did they not feature you then?
So Avicii back at the time, the manager had a very clear vision. I'm sure everyone's seen the documentary at this point of what he wanted to make Avicii. And I think with Avicii, a DJ making the DJ the star. And so no one was allowed to feature. It was just, can we feature? No. Avicii doesn't feature anyone, which I would like to think was more the management's decision than his.
Yeah.
Because I know that after he parted with that manager, he did start featuring people. So on his last record and stuff like that. But it was always just, Avicii doesn't do features. And actually with All You Need Is Love, there was no even song deal in place. The manager got the a cappella from my then manager, and I didn't even know this was happening. And he dropped it at Ultrafest in Miami 2012.
Wow.
It's online. Madonna's beside him and he drops this new track, the new ID, right before Levels, which was his big hit at the time.
Yes.
And it's my voice.
Wow.
It's pitched up like Mickey Mouse. And it's just being played to over 100,000 people.
Wow.
And we had no idea. So then the song started going viral at the time.
Yeah.
Perez Hilton was like, there's some Scottish girl, I'm Irish, singing. Ruth-Anne. I was like, I'm Irish. But, she's singing it. I was actually annoyed that they'd pitched up my vocal without asking me.
Yeah.
Which I know people will go, but it's Avicii. And I'm like, I know, but I still would have liked to be asked what you're doing with my voice. But loved what he had done.
Yeah.
And I put up the acoustic demo of it so that people could hear my normal voice.
Love.
So, so people could just get the context. And but the manager was very much like, there's no features. We could get anyone to sing this song. We can take her vocal off. This was after it had premiered at Ultra. And, so anyway, it ended up going on the True album, the deluxe version. There was a problem with songwriter splits. The manager was quite aggressive and wanted a lot of the song. And I had written it myself with John Ryan, had come in and written verses with me. And I just felt like, Avicii as a brand was making probably, upwards of 250K, maybe more, for an hour set.
Yes.
And I was a 24-year-old young songwriter. And I'm like, why are you trying to take from, let's be fair. So I just like to do it fair.
Yeah.
But the manager has writing credit on that song.
Oh my God.
But maybe he helped Avicii with the production. I don't know. But anyway, all good. I never got to meet Avicii. I never got to talk to him, but it's amazing to have been, again, a tiny piece. We did, the song was on a Ralph Lauren campaign and
amazing.
The Avicii fans love it. And
it's just frustrating though, because obviously, and even by this point as well, you're proving yourself and you're showing what you can do and you've got something special. And then this element of disrespect, we can just replace her. Like,
I have the email. We can get anyone to sing this song.
Yeah.
The emails are quite, and it's and at the time you're young. I was 24, but it was still like, why is there such disrespect for the vocals?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And the song wouldn't exist without me. So I wrote it. Like, I know that definitely didn't come from Avicii's side, because I just know from people I've talked to that know him and worked with him that he was very respectful of singers, songwriters, vocalists.
Yeah.
But it's the representation of his name though.
Yes.
So it was a difficult pill to swallow, because it was meant to be the next big single. But because I wouldn't agree to the songwriter splits, they ended up being like, well, fine, we won't wait. And people were like, did I learn a lesson of maybe I should have just taken the lower percentage? Because obviously it's Avicii, but at the same time, I also wanted to stand my ground and have my principles. And I've always been that way. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be just straight up robbed of my art and my intellectual property.
Yeah.
When you already, as a manager of a DJ, are making all the money in the world. You have writing credit on this song.
Yeah.
And I don't want to throw shade at him, but I do think there's a learning lesson for managers of DJs as well.
Yeah.
You have to respect the songwriters.
Yeah.
You have to respect the vocalists, because the songs and the vocals, and obviously the DJ is amazing, but the pay packet goes up when you have a hit.
Yes.
The pay packet for all them DJs goes up by hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
And the songwriters don't see any of that touring money or the vocalists.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, we should be respecting the people, and there's incredible DJs out there that do and are very fair and are lovely, but there's a lot out there manager wise who just think, well, it's my DJ and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm like, not for me.
Oh, I totally agree with you. And also because you have to start learning your power of saying no, because when does it end? So you said yes to that one and then something else happens and you may have had a big cut on more money or whatever, but then you said yes, so when can you say no? Does it get bigger and bigger and then you can't say
Exactly,
no,
exactly.
Suddenly it flips so that you are big, and then you can say, because I had a similar situation. It was actually As More Than Friends was in the top 10 and another record coming, and I'd written it with some then friends. Unfortunately, this situation really ruined our relationship. And again, I didn't know what was happening. Things were moving really fast and it got signed by a label. And next I heard that they were basically wanting to keep my voice on there, but have a big named UK pop star on it, female artist. And I got told I basically was irrelevant. And I was like, but I'm actually in the top 10 at the moment with my name on it. And it was like, yeah, but you're not big.
That annoys me. That's, I deal with it all the time.
It was so cutting. And actually on this occasion, I did say no.
Good.
And I put my foot down, and then it did. But the thing that upset me so much with these were people with really good friends,
I know.
and that I'd built a relationship with, and I'd written for their projects as well. And it suddenly came to my opportunity, and suddenly I wasn't relevant anymore. And
that's unfortunately, I've had that as well. It's the music business, and that's where business overrides everything.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. I mean, I get that a lot as well, because I write a lot of the songs and I demo them. And then it's always like, oh, we need to find like, Ruth-Anne sounds amazing. We could get, with this vocal on it, we could sell it. We could get, Miley or, whatever, whoever they think they can get, who they can't. Because I always say, but Miley and Ella and Becky, they can't sing every song. They have their own solo projects that they want to release.
Yes.
They can't feature on everything. And that's like, I'm sure they would love to, but they physically can't.
Yes.
So there's only a certain pool of singers.
Yes.
So then when they can't get them, they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll keep you on then. But we're, not going to feature you because you're not big enough, and we're not going to pay you even a fraction of what we would have offered them. So you kind of end up feeling like this really like crappy consolation prize.
Yeah.
So I think,
and this has happened to you.
This has happened to me so many times, where it's gotten to the point now where I just take the power and go, I won't feature, because I actually don't want to deal with the rejection of the label being like, you're not big enough to feature. So I normally will get ahead of it and go, oh no, don't worry, you don't need to feature me, because but I'll still want my vocal fee, and I'll still want a non-featured agreement, and I still want master and everything. But I'm like, do you know what? If it's going to cause, a thing of like, we can't feature her because she's, and at the end of the day, I'm not a dance artist, and my own solo music is very different. So I think over the years, I came to this acceptance of like, it's just not worth the battle, and I'd rather just on my own terms not feature. So I have done that, and then there's somewhere I've gone, no, I would like to feature on that because it fits in with what I do as an artist. It's very I don't want to confuse people at the same time. So there have been amazing DJs who featured me, but I've spoken to a lot of vocalists who they won't feature you in the videos. Like they don't want you to have any of the opportunity. And I'll never understand that, because I'm like, if you're in that position and someone, especially when I've written the song as well, why would you not go, yeah, I'd love to take you on this journey. And some DJs do.
Yeah.
Kygo's amazing at bringing out all the vocalists on stage, bringing them on tour, and some don't, because they want, I don't know whether it's the management wants their names to be everything, but I don't really get what the problem is. Having an unknown feature on a song is not going to make the song perform worse.
It's not at all.
It does not have any effect. Sia was on Titanium. A lot of people didn't know who Sia was. So it's like, does it really matter? Like, why is it so? Yeah. So I've definitely had that a lot, where I felt like the consolation prize.
Yeah,
and
that's not acceptable.
That you're just, but everyone, but the vocal, oh my God, Ruth-Anne's vocals, but we don't want you to feature. And I'm like, and we don't want you in the video. Like, and I'm like, it makes you feel shit.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
it makes you feel like, what do I have to do to like, I've written you this song.
Yes.
I'm singing the vocals, the backing vocals. Like, what do I need to do to just be enough for you to feature me?
Yeah.
And whenever I see women who've gone through the same thing, or men, vocalists, it really annoys me.
Yes.
It really annoys me.
And I mean, you and I having a brief chat online, because you had a song which it was a DJ feature, and they were utilising another singer to pretend and mime to you on socials.
Yes.
Like, this is
we have to stop that.
Yeah.
They had a TikToker who they wanted to sing it. And the song, she's a great singer, but it didn't suit her voice. I think the phrasing, I don't know, they weren't happy with it. And then she ended up pulling out, but they had a big budget to pay her.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we'll keep Ruth-Anne on. It's like, well, we'll keep Ruth-Anne on. And it's like, okay, so thanks. They offered me £250 as the vocal fee, when I'm talking big 5-figure sum that they had for the other vocalist. And then it's like, oh, can we pay her, we've gone over budget, can we pay her a 250 demo fee?
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's not a demo.
No, it's not.
So I didn't feature. So then when they were doing all the promo, they had a actress who was literally miming to me, like she was in the studio miming, and then was putting it on her socials, which it's not her fault. I'm sure she was just told to whatever, that like it was her song and it was her singing. So we immediately were like,
No.
You cannot have anyone else miming, pretending to be Ruth-Anne. But it's just kind of, the disrespect of not even asking.
Not asking, not wanting to pay you, but actually whatever they've done a deal with or paid this other person to pretend to be you. It's like, why are you going so far out of your way to be this absolutely disrespectful? It's just wild.
It is wild. And it's so crazy because a lot of people will see, these things I've written and think that I get treated like, you must get treated so well. No. I don't.
And your legacy for what, In the Name of Love, Martin Garrix, Bebe, Rexha.
In the Name of Love, that's one of my favourites.
That's one of the biggest dance crossover pop records, of the last years. And your legacy speaks for itself. So I do not understand. It makes me feel sad that you said that you now will get ahead and just say, oh, we're not going to feature. Yeah. Do you think maybe it's worth just reversing that and actually going, you're not having this unless I feature?
Do you know what it is? It's that what I've tried to do now sometimes is think about, does it fit in with what I do as an artist? Which, if you know my artist music, it's the vow. It's very like love, ballad, soul. Yeah. And if it doesn't, then it's okay. I'm fine for you to have my voice. Yeah. And I'm fine for you to pay me the fee and give me non-featured and give me the master credit. It's fine. Like, I've just accepted that if people don't want me to belong in that world, I'm not going to push to belong in that world. I think you go where the love is. And I think there's a lot of love for what I do as an artist from other people and other communities. And I think go where the love is. And I have had DJs be incredible, like Martin Garrix, incredible. Me and Ilse sing background vocals on In the Name of Love, and Bebe sang it amazingly. And that was a beautiful thing to be part of. Very fair, very, nothing but good things to say about that experience. And it's now got 1 billion streams.
I love it.
But then there's been, I've had good experiences and bad experiences. I don't want to tarnish everyone with the same brush. Yeah, and then there's been labels that have really wanted me to feature, and I've gone, no, you know what? It doesn't, suit what I'm doing now. But I think I definitely am damaged by how I was treated over the years in the industry, and how people were so just like, oh no, like she's not big enough, she's not famous enough to feature, and it does kind of damage you in a way, and you're just a bit like, okay,
what's the point?
What's the point?
Swing it back a little bit. You obviously sang The Remedy and featured on that with Professor Green.
Yeah.
And then obviously that was a massive record. Did it feel like, as that was buzzing and your name was on it, that there was like the appetite for Ruth-Anne music then?
No, because they wouldn't feature me in the video. And it was crazy. They wouldn't put me in the video, but the video was like, and I've spoken to Professor Green, like, we're all good, but they made a decision to not put me in the video, which upset me because it was a video of like, it was like a party. So there's so many, and I'm like,
you could have been in that.
I could have been in the video. Yeah. Why did you not want to put me in the video?
Yeah.
So that hurt me a little bit, and I never performed it with him. I was never asked to perform it with him. So that was a bit hard, but I felt like the doors still were like, you're a songwriter and we love your voice. And they tried, a lot of artists tried to sing that. There was people that tried to sing that song that they wanted more than me. And I would like go to the sessions to like help produce the vocal, because I wanted it. The thing is, if you get a big artist on it, that's a win as well for me as a songwriter. Yeah. So it's a push and pull of like, I want the song to do really well. Of course I want Miley Cyrus. Of course I want the biggest artist on the song. Of course when Martin got In the Name of Love to Bebe Rexha, of course we weren't like, I'm never like, no, I must sing this. I'm, you've got to be smart. And the bigger the artist, the more people that'll hear it. But with the Remedy one, there was no one really bigger, and they ended up going with my vocal. But again, it kind of felt like, well, we couldn't find anyone else, so we'll keep you on. Now, I was appreciative that they featured me, but I didn't feel like the feature really meant anything. Even when I worked with Dua Lipa at the very beginning of her career, and when we first met, she goes, everyone thinks that I sing Remedy, that I'm you. She goes, people think that's my voice on Remedy, Dua.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, because we'd never met. And she's like, no, because I knew your name because of the Remedy song, and people always think that that's me singing. And
that's so strange.
It was like, people didn't know who I was, and they didn't really care. And that's another thing that, as a vocalist, you kind of, when you're shut out of being featured or given the opportunity to perform it, there's not going to be that appetite. And but to be fair to everyone, was I ready then? No, that was 2012. I didn't start releasing my own music till 2018. I think everything happens for a reason, but I do think that's why I am so, I see a lot of DJs now, like Sonny with Clementine. I've just written their new single, and I love, he brings it to like all the shows. She's so amazing. She's incredible. incredible.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of respect for her from what I can see from the DJs. So I feel like maybe there is a change happening, but I still think there's a ways to go.
I totally agree. And like, as you've touched on that, it's amazing to see Clem and also Jazzy as well.
Yeah,
like,
and she's Irish. I love Jazzy. Yeah,
exactly. And actually starting to see these people actually go, okay, no, actually we need to take this seriously. But I think it's also taken artists like ourselves talking about it and also saying we're not going to stand for this kind of thing anymore, and actually being more honest about it, because the cycle's perpetuating itself.
100%.
And I kind of haven't really spoken to any vocal artist apart from like a newer one like Jazzy, for example, who has basically had a smooth run.
Yeah.
Everything has been a drama in some kind of way or shape or form in this space in electronic music.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good to see that the change is happening. And I think that's also because there are people in positions of power at radio and at DSPs who've actually started going, no, we will start championing and supporting the vocal artists. So that's also made
the shift
from labels and A&Rs and stuff to go, oh, actually there is getting more support now for actually crediting. I'm not saying it's not because they didn't want to, but I'm also like, there's people in power that have helped make that wave start happening. So and please do that.
There's nothing that I always try to say to people, there's nothing that's going to like hurt or harm the song. If the song is great, like, and it sounds great, it's not going to hurt to put a name. Give that person the opportunity. Like, I always think with the DJ, if you're traveling around the world, you're performing in venues, you're making great revenue that way, like, help rise the next people up. Like, it's like songwriting. I'll always write with newer writers or newer artists. Help people, because people helped me get on the ladder as a songwriter, like Billy and Josh. And then pay it forward. It's not going to hurt you in any way. It's good karma. It's like you supporting up and coming, and also like listen to close your eyes, listen to the vocals that someone has poured their heart into. And instead of thinking that, oh, it's so easy for vocalists, whatever, it is a skill, just like writing a song is a skill. Doesn't matter how quick you are at it, there's 10,000 hours that goes behind every song I've written that might have taken me 45 minutes to write. There was 10,000 hours that I've done to get to that point. Same with singing. The 10,000 hours of like me being 10 or you singing to Whitney. It's a skill. It's a huge skill, and it should never just be like, oh, it's just the vocals. Just the vocals. A lot of the time they make the songs.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like the respect, and also, you know, giving the opportunity to the vocalist to help them get revenue, to help them have a career. I don't understand why that wouldn't be something that you would immediately go, oh, like, I'm gonna help pay, help this, not help her out, but like give her the credit that you deserve.
They also win again, because if that vocalist is performing it live in places, they're getting performance royalty revenue anyway.
100%.
And in clubs that they wouldn't be performing. I remember when I finally started live peeing I Got You, which was a bit of a situation to finally happen. It turned out the clubs and the shows I was going to be doing, Duke Dumont wouldn't be doing anyway. So actually it was like, oh, actually this isn't a competition thing. Actually just keeps
it's extra promo.
It's extra promo. It's extra
promo.
build.
And I think the DJs that do that are smart, because it's like, then also it's they're putting their stamp of going like, this is the vocalist. Like you might not have heard of her, but like discover her. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I just feel like there's such great opportunities out there, and everybody can have a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, keep it all.
Well, tell me about The Vow then, because this is your record, and what is beautiful about it is like through all this journey of stuff that you've experienced and the rejections and closed doors, you wrote something which is so deeply special and important to you. And then it's the way it's translated to the world. It's like sitting at nearly 16 million streams now, and you said it's charted as well.
Yeah, it's like in the viral TikTok charts, right, number 11. It's been all over the Spotify viral charts in the UK and New Zealand and Australia, and it's crazy. The Vow is crazy because it's gone viral every year since it's been released. And I put it out with an indie label called The Other Song. Shout out to The Songs. But we didn't have budget. We don't have like major label, we did a £500 lyric video. I mean, we've pushed it as much as we can, but really it's become the people song. And
I love that.
People keep giving it these moments. Obviously, Molly May, which I'm so grateful to her. Love Island had it, a lot of syncs.
Yes.
Grey's Anatomy. There's been movies on Netflix and stuff. And so it keeps being paired with these scenes that then it reacts, I think.
Yeah.
And Molly May obviously used it for her baby gender reveal. So then everyone started using it for the baby genders. And then obviously Tommy flew me out for the engagement.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then it just featured in the documentary. So the song keeps having, it went top 40 in the main chart, like in 2023 after the engagement.
Oh, wow.
And then it's back in the top 100 now. And there's this is all like
organic.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very organic. There's no real, there's no one pouring thousands of pounds into it. It's literally the organic, it's finding people and discovering people. And every day or every other day I get weddings and engagements, videos, and
it's beautiful.
or even like funerals or people with their kids. And the song is really, it's my favorite song that I've ever written because it was me saying, you can't tell me what I am and what I'm not in the industry. And I wrote it purely for myself, manifesting the love I wanted to find was what
so
it's written about. And looking at my parents who've been married, sitting with the producers and going, I want it to be Celtic and feel like an Irish Celtic chant, but I want it to be soulful. So it fuses everything together as an artist that I've wanted to be and what I am. And it's one of them songs that it's for people's moments. And so watching everyone take it in as their own and watching it every year have this another moment. It feels like it's had impact that no chart number even matters to me because it's part of people's lives now and their big moments. And that for me is what music is really about. Yeah. And so I'm really proud of it because if you think about it, it never would have come out if I didn't put my voice on it and put it out as my own singer. It would never have come out. It wouldn't be no one would have heard it. It would have sat on a laptop. And because as a songwriter, a lot of the time people come to me for like, you've got to write the single, you've got to write the big radio song. And The Vow is not that. It's a love song. It's a stripped back wedding song. And so to think that all these people that have had it part of their lives, it would never have been heard. I'm just happy that I kept going and kept believing in myself and went, do you know what? And it's for anyone out there who's an artist or a vocalist and you're struggling, whatever, just go where the love is and just keep going and keep doing it. Like I'm not a big pop artist. I'm not, I'm not famous, right? But
your voice is.
I don't know.
That's why you know my voice.
Okay. But people know my songs and they know this song, and it's more important to me than any money or fame is the fact that a song can have this impact on people's lives.
I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And I think also the way you've manifested that and the way you've kept going and the way you've backed yourself. And also in terms of all those doors that have been shut and have been like, and like you're saying, feeling like the consolation prize, you putting out something which is so honest and so truthful and so you.
Thank you.
And for it to react like that, you are the artist and you deserve to be in all those spaces that you dream to be.
Yeah. I've just like, for me now, like I don't really think about any of that stuff anymore. When I was younger, it was like, you've got to get in front of people. And now I've realized that when you just are authentically you, and when you just do what you love, what you would want to listen to, and you forget about everything else. Don't write a song for TikTok. Don't write a song for radio. Just write the best song possible. Yeah. As an artist, it served me the best. As a songwriter, it served me the best because now I don't think about any of that noise. I think about what's the best thing that we can create that will have the most impact in the world. That's how I've always approached music. And whenever I've tried to approach it any other way, it never works out for me. You've got to just do what is like what you love to do. And I'm so happy that those are the songs. Same with In the Name of Love. Same with some of the songs I've written for the artists. Those were born out of just inspiration and love and writing the best song possible. And it wasn't about, we need to get it to this artist and we need to get this and we need to do that. And when I'm singing a vocal, now I'm thinking about, let me just sing it the best that I can to give it the, so that people can discover the song.
Yes. So I totally agree with you. I want to ask you just quickly, whilst I still have you, you're writing a book.
Yes.
Tell me about it, please. Tell us about it.
Well, like, I always think with music industry, people don't really know the ins and outs of being a songwriter.
Yes.
And there's a lot of books and courses about how to write a song, but I don't think I've ever seen a book that really just explains how to be in the music industry, how to navigate the music industry,
Yes.
how to not only write hits, but how to navigate this world.
Yeah.
And when I was 16, 17, 18 coming into the industry, it's a book that I could have used. Like understanding, I break down the psychology of a writing room, which took me years to understand. The dynamic of a writing room can have a massive effect on the song you write that day, the chemistry between the writers.
Yes.
And how to break down record deals, publishing deals, how to understand them, where the money comes from, what you need to be registered for. There's songs that I sing that I'm featured on that I was never registered properly for to get the royalties for.
Wow.
So taking ownership of understanding the industry, understanding how to find a manager, what to look for in a manager, publishers, and then I do chapters on, little tips that I've picked up from the biggest songwriters in the world of how to, what makes a hit song. And if there was one formula, we'd all be doing it, but just things that can help, tips that can help you make your songs more universal. And then also a chapter that's totally the exceptions of that, and the ones that have broken all the rules, the tips, quote unquote rules, and have still been hits, and how sometimes you need to throw everything out the door and just do what you feel, and sometimes you need to sit and craft. You need to craft a song, and you need to, do that. So it's really a book that I wish that I had. It's called It's Not Just a Song, because being in the industry for 20 years, I can tell you that it's really not just about the song. There are so many pieces that go into making it in this industry, and I'd like to pass that down for my teenage self, and for all the people who come to me and ask me, how do I get in the room with this person? How do I find a manager? How do I write a hit song? It's really a book that goes through everything that you need to know about navigating the music industry, and how to survive and thrive, and how to forge a long career, not just have one hit. How do you get the next one? How do you, how do you form the network and the communities around you, and the right teams? And it's taken me all the mistakes and all the trauma.
Yes.
And I have a chapter called The Boys Club. Like, it goes into being a female in the music industry.
Yes.
And it's really about understanding the music industry better so that you can navigate it better than I did. Because sometimes I'm reading it and I'm going, if I had this book, I could definitely have been even more, way more successful.
Yes.
If I knew some of these things that I never knew about the music industry. So I'm really hoping that it'll help a lot of aspiring songwriters and producers and artists out there, because we still need you. We still need people in the music industry. So
absolutely. I can't wait to read that. I'm going to be getting a copy. Going to be getting my copy, writing some hits.
Yes.
That's amazing, Ruth-Anne. Thank you so much. Will there be some more Ruth-Anne music coming as well alongside the book?
There is.
Yay!
So I was pregnant last year, and I kind of took it as my year to do my book, do my new album. And I wrote a new album. It's coming out this year, 2025.
Amazing.
I'm really excited about it because I feel like I've listened to all my listeners.
Yay!
I know what they want. And it's really been inspired by all the videos and the moments that they've sent me in their lives. And I've written an album that I think is very in line with The Vow and Safe Place and all my songs. And and I'll be singing, maybe featuring on some, and maybe just singing some dance songs. You never know. With me, it's you might hear a dance song,
and you'll be I know that girl's voice.
And you might not know who it is, and it might be me, or I might have just written it, or I'm still writing for the people all the time, always writing with artists and everything like that, and just trying to, just stay creative. That's what I'm all about.
But then this year is, this is the year of Ruth-Anne, though. That's what I'm just saying. It's the year of Ruth-Anne.
Thank you.
And your chapter. Thank you so much for coming in here and sharing your story. You are truly incredible. Your voice is you know, it's iconic and, you know, really special. You're one of the singers of our generation.
Oh, no.
So,
This is you.
Yeah.
This is you. No, big respect to this podcast and for shining a light on the vocalists, because do you know what I mean? It's just so important. And anyone out there, just always remember, when you listen to a dance song, when you listen to any songs, you know, there are human beings behind it who created it, who poured their life and soul into it. And it's making you feel so good when you're dancing to it. But it's just important for everyone out there to remember that there are human beings behind it.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Dig a little deeper and go and find out who is behind those records, because you might actually discover your new favourite song.
Well, this is the thing,
you know.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming in. You're incredible. And we can't wait to see how this all develops from here.
Yay.
Super Queen. Thank you.
Thank you.